Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Firsties. As always, I want to give grace and thanks to everyone who's listening, watching, viewing, subscribing, doing all the things. I feel like a broken record. I even feel like a broken record for saying that I'm a broken record. That's how much I say this. But really, thank you so much. Make sure you follow Firsties. That's Firsties, P-O-D, everywhere, Snapchat, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Please do. You'll be able to get short clips behind the scenes on TikTok and Instagram. Now that we're done with that, we have a familiar face. We have Benny here.
Hey,
which I'm so excited to have you
shout
back.
out Firsties.
I think you were the first male guest and you're the first recurring guest.
Oh,
so
wow.
you're just breaking all the Firsties. Like, it's very on brand. Yeah, it's very on brand. You were episode 11.
Love that.
And first, I just wanted to have you on because I really do enjoy your company and it's just so much fun just talking to you and kikiing, kind of.
That's right.
And one thing, Benny reached out to me to discuss kind of the experience I had with a particular person. And people don't usually do that. You're just like interested, like, hey, how's that guy as a person? And what was your experience like? Which doesn't happen. So I was like, hey, he's someone who really values like character and just someone's overall vibes. And I really did appreciate that. So I was thinking of why not have him on and talk about like having like a like-minded village and community. Something that we also talked about off camera was that from your episodes, the amount of people that reached out to me and either wanted to come on or just reached out just to give like, hey, great content it was like 2 or 3 people. You've already seen some people on these episodes. Nice. And that's an extension of you and the community that you've created, and you share that audience with me, which means a lot. So,
well, also I'll say this is it was a great experience. So it was very easy to tell somebody, 100% go after that. I had a lot of fun and it was great. It was a good time.
I appreciate that.
Of course.
I also think it's just so easy with you because the comedians that come on the show, it's just like, go ahead, you have the mic.
Yeah,
it's just so easy.
It's because we're all deranged. Like, that's the real reason.
You're like, it's mental illness.
It's mental. Shout out to mental illness. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah. Which I have been meaning. I need to come to one of your shows, like ASAP. We'll talk about that later on in the show.
Without a doubt.
So really quickly, as you know, Firsties, we talk about like the first gen experience always. And kind of give it all to God and our parents. But what do you have any feedback or anything that you could share, like from your upbringings? There's certain things I feel like I learned from my parents and being a first gen that they didn't necessarily say with words. It was just more with actions, and those stuck more than like. I would actually argue that when my mom said like, "Go to bed," I didn't go to bed, but then when I saw her work ethic, that stuck harder than like her telling me to do something. That makes sense, because I could be allergic to authority sometimes.
Amen to that.
Yeah, so I know
not the cops though. We don't want no beef with y'all. We're not talking about that kind of authority.
The
IRS
disclaimer
either.
is crazy. IRS. Please, I just got my taxes done. Please leave me alone.
Right.
I know last time we talked about you shared like kind of the proverbs that your dad shared and how implemental he was in your life as well. So can you think back to a time where you saw something in your parents, whether it's their work ethic or their love for each other or their love for their kids, that you use now? Because from your conversations, it sounds like you're kind of the captain of your ship. And your dream and goal is to get people more on your path. Like, you definitely give me leader and like.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because you're a visionary, really.
I try to be, and I think that like, I don't know. I kind of figured out early on, like, no one's gonna hand me anything. Like, my whole life, I kind of felt like the person where like people would see me and I don't look like somebody that needs help, which it might not necessarily be true. You know what I mean? They might just see it, like I might be playing sports or I might be really jovial and whatever, and they're just like, oh, this guy's doing amazing at all times. When in reality, it's like, I might need help here and there, but then I figured out that early on that I'm gonna just have to do it myself. Yeah. And that's kind of the mentality that I took. Or I'm gonna have to start it myself, not necessarily do it myself, because something my dad always like told me, preached, and taught is that like what we said, like you need good people around you in order to get to where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? Like you can't do everything by yourself. That's impossible. So I had to like reform a little bit of that mentality as I have recently. Yeah. And I found that's been the best when building a community of people.
So you mentioned good people. So how would you define good people?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. It's all about like character and how like, first of all, are you a good hang? Do I like being around you?
That part.
You know what I mean? Like
part.
that is like, so for example, in comedy, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, right? Being funny is like the fourth most important thing.
Really?
Straight up.
Really?
Any comedian that's gotten to any little level or whatever will tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Being funny is like the fourth most important thing. The first most important thing is like, are you a good person to hang around with?
Okay.
You know what I mean? The second most important thing is like, probably like, how do you treat staff? How do you treat like people that might not, quote unquote, below you? I don't like using that term,
Right,
but you know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. Actually, the second thing would probably be like, do you sell tickets? Like, are you making money? You know what I mean? Are you here making money? And then the fourth thing is like, are you funny? That's like the order that people look at it at. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because when you start, you think, bro, if I'm the funniest dude out, I'm going to be good.
Right.
Do you know how many comedians are out there that are like hilarious, that will have you peeing your pants, like, you know,
dying.
No one knows who they are. There's several that I know that are like that. Funnier, they've been doing it longer than me, but no one knows who they are. And there's a reason for that.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's wild, man. It's important to have good character. It's important to have good character.
Yeah, I think something that is overlooked is, I forget where I read it, but it said like manners and will take you farther where your talent can't. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have some talent to even get up on stage and everything like that. But that's why I told you with that particular person, on time, response to all those things. I was like, that's amazing. I let him know on the podcast, like, keep that, because that's going to take you farther. Because we're all blessed and talented, but your work ethic and also just being a decent human being, like like making people feel good and being positive and like not being fake, but just being positive about any situation.
Because at a certain point, everybody in the room is going to be talented. What differentiates you?
That part.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the real question.
Yeah.
There. If you're talented and an asshole, I'm probably not going to go with you, fam. I might go with the dude that might be a little less talented than you. Yeah. But I like this dude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that is so real.
Yeah.
So you're saying that, now have you experienced where a comedian has not been very kind, or and then how do you handle that?
I mean, it depends on the setting and the context, right?
Yeah.
Because like, if it's their show, what you gonna do? This is it's their.
You
know what I mean? Like Dave
it.
Chappelle said, you have to be humble enough to understand when you're in somebody else's dream.
Yeah,
that's real too, you know.
Yeah.
But like, you're clocking the whole thing. If you see somebody acting like that way, you're like, all right, bet. Like, if I get in this position that you're in, you ain't gonna be the one I call. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've always just like been clocking. I try to clock everything. I try to see, how did he act with this? How did he And you never know who's watching, and you never know where people are gonna end up. So like, that part is very real.
The opportunities I've got is when someone has not, the opportunities I've gotten, most of them has been from a moment where I did not think anybody's watching.
Straight up.
And it's a very, very, very humbling, very, very humbling experience.
Yeah.
How can you determine like if someone's just having a moment, because we're all human, versus, he's just an asshole.
Sometimes
she's
it's
just
tough.
an asshole.
You try to give the benefit of the doubt, but like, realistically, speaking of firsties, a first impression can only be made once. So you have to be very wary of that. You know what I mean? Of course, there's situations where you might have a terrible first impression with somebody, but then after a while, you're like, oh, okay, I was kind of wrong about this person. Like, and you have to be open to that too. But yeah, you're not doing yourself no favors if the first time you meet somebody, you're being a dickhead, you know? Like,
yeah, that's true.
You're not doing anybody any favors.
Talking about first impressions, is it very important, like when you get up on stage, that first joke or their first line has to really hit? Or
imperative.
Really?
Imperative, especially if they don't know who you are. Because your whole goal is to like prove to them, like, I'm funny. Like, give me a chance. And so in that first minute, if you can get a big pop, now they give you enough levity or leeway throughout the rest of your set to be able to really, massage it and work it and then get it to where you really want to go. So yeah, it's imperative. Like, I remember when I was younger, somebody told me that. They were like, all right, man, your strongest joke has to come at the beginning and at the end, because those are the parts people remember.
Right.
The middle is kind of fluff.
Oh, you're right.
That's really all you remember as an audience member. You go, I see this person, then you're trying to decide your next thing, are they funny? Then they tell their first joke, you decide, oh, they're funny. You end up in relaxing. Then they start getting to the end of their set, and they tell their last joke, oh, that was funny too. That's all you remember. The middle stuff is like in and out.
That's so true. I've also think, it's uncomfortable in that being an audience member, but I've been into like a New York show where they did not do well, but then they killed it at the end, and it was like a great like underdog one. Like,
yeah, then you're like,
that was
cool.
Nice too, but it would have been nice if it was a banger in the beginning and a banger at the end, so I could see that
for sure.
Yeah. Now off camera we talked about like you have shows coming up, and we'll get a little bit into that later on. Are you always pulling from your life when it comes to your comedy, like at all times? Are you always in different situations when you're driving, you're seeing this person grab the grocery bags? Okay, that I could turn that into something funny. Like, where do you pull from? Do you elaborate?
I've written 3 jokes about you right now in my head. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Whoa.
Nah, I'm messing with you.
I will invoice you. Okay, go ahead.
Right, but yeah, 100% personal experience I think is the best way. And sometimes I'll find something and I'll be like, I didn't realize how many people related to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a joke I'm writing right now is like some pet peeves. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and this may be mean, but it's, you know those people that walk around on their tippy toes?
Like at all times?
You know, like they can't like,
they can't.
And they just walk like that.
Yeah.
That pisses me off like no other.
Okay.
And I'm not, I may be a terrible person for this, but if you do that, like I just want to like snip your kill. Like
right,
I just
gotcha.
Anyway, maybe it's because I had a basketball coach when I was younger that I didn't like that walk like that.
Is that to
possible.
Everyone, or just women that you might be attracted to, or is that just to everyone? Because there's pet
What do you mean?
peeves. The tiptoes.
Anybody that does
Okay,
it bothers me.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure why it bothers me so much, but it does.
But that's a pet peeve. I think is that
it's a pet peeve.
it's just I can't explain it. That's just what it is.
It's just bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't think you're a horrible person for it. That's just that's what I call it. Ick. Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ick. Yeah. But
like,
I feel like majority of the time it's guys that walk like that.
I
don't feel like I've seen women walk like that.
I do not want to meet those men.
Yeah. Exactly.
I do not want to meet those men.
Bro, they look like ducks. They're just like ducking their way across.
I do not want to meet those men. I just want to be clear. It's documented. Yeah. I don't care. Cancel me. Do not want to meet those men.
Right.
I've only seen in females, I think, or children
really?
Almost. But that's like
fascinating.
That's almost precious when kids are on their.
I don't know if it'll ever work either. Maybe people will think I'm too mean on stage. I just have to make it funny.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So yeah, you're pulling from.
But yeah, I'm constantly pulling from things that I experience, without a doubt.
And then you also do crowd work as well.
I love crowd work.
The 6'4" one, because remember I look at all your content before you come on.
Right.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was just
that just came
quick.
out. I ended up writing a joke about being 6'4", and like after that. Because that came out, like sometimes things just come out of my mouth. Right. You know what I mean? But then I looked back at that film and I was like, maybe that got such a big pop and reaction. And girls are always talking about, I need a tall dude. So I was like, the joke is basically like, I've had a little bit of success on Hinge. Mm-hmm. I realized that I just have to answer every question with my height. Where are you from? I'm 6'4". You know what I mean? Like every question. You know what I mean? Like hobbies.
That's
I'm 6'4".
funny, but I hate you for that.
Yeah. People do, bro. The reactions are so funny in the crowd.
I mean, but lean into that.
Every dude goes.
Yeah. Every girl's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's mad funny. It's mad funny.
That is hilarious. I mean, you're telling me on stage you haven't really leaned into your height? Because it's something that you cannot avoid.
Yeah, kind of. No, I do have a joke about like being like somebody calling me a giraffe and like little things like that. I have a couple of jokes here and there, but I try not to lean on it too much.
Okay.
But maybe I'll write more. I don't know if the inspiration comes.
Because I was thinking about when you were talking about earlier in the episode how no one really seemed to like, I'm paraphrasing, but no one really seemed to like help you out. Like it seemed like, oh, you have it together. And probably your height didn't help. Like,
oh no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe someone who's on the shorter end just you know what I mean? But like you're such a tall person that I would think like, people you seem older. You know, like all the things. So
when people see tall people, they just think they have no problems. It's like when they see attractive people, for example, right? Like people probably see you and be like, oh, no, she's got her shit together. Like, she's good. She's golden, you know? But in reality, you're human like everybody else, bro. I make mistakes. True. I got relationships that don't go well, you know?
But you do know the most attractive thing for a guy is probably height. Like, it is.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
It is.
I think it's like a...
Like, men will shoot their moms to be 3 feet taller. It's crazy.
I know.
Or 3 inches taller, actually.
My boy has this joke about the surgery that they were doing for a little while to make the legs longer.
Started.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, that was all good, bro, but you got to do your arms too, bro. Like, you can't be walking around like a T-Rex, which I thought was hilarious, man.
It's like
so funny.
Kevin Hart's joke where he talks about like like the butt to thigh ratio is just not
it. Dog.
And like, so get it together, ladies, because we're looking like ants out here.
Right.
Because it is
might
giving
Chris Rock.
Like
the ant, wasn't that Chris Rock?
No, the ant was Chris. You're right. I'm putting
Rock,
yeah,
the butt to thigh ratio.
Yeah,
very
like
real.
it's actually like insane. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so funny. So you can't ignore how tall you are. Like I think you had to duck when you came in here. Pretty sure.
It's difficult.
Before we get into the perks, has there been any challenges? I don't think there is. But I'll give you a chance to talk about your trauma, I guess.
A weak ass trauma. Everybody
like,
watching.
Try to be relatable. I guess.
Dude, you know.
Are you the tallest in your family? First of all,
because
I do want to say
6'5".
Well, actually, let me ask you this, because in my family we don't have we are not on the we're on the average end. We're not on the shorter end. We're on the average end.
Right.
I feel like.
And how tall are you?
How dare you? I'm 5'2". No, not that. I said how dare you about the 5'2".
Oh, sorry.
I'm 5'2".
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, Habesha men usually are on the other side, no? They're more on the shorter side.
Yeah.
So you're an outlier in that. Like, I feel like if you went to audition, they would just all be looking at you like, whoa. So before we get into the perks, has there been any downfalls? I'm giving you a moment to be human right now, so lie if you have to. I don't know.
Sometimes I hit my head on things.
Okay, thanks. All right, guys, thanks. Subscribe.
Okay, wait, time out.
Bye.
I have an actual one. This is like a thing. Like say like, you know, like in a club setting, right? Like everyone's kind of packed in together, bro.
Yeah.
I have like inadvertently caught a whiff of somebody's stank ass hair. That's a real thing, dog. That's a real, and nobody's out here talking about it. Yeah. And I'm gonna talk about it for my tall brothers and sisters out here. Wash the top of y'all heads, dog. Okay, because we be seeing it, bro. Wash the top of y'all heads, dog. That is,
especially in a club setting where I'm guessing people are dancing, some people are sweating.
Yeah, like, bro, it can get mixy.
It's just like it's getting a little, it's a little dicey.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've seen that before, and that's something I thought of, and I was like, this sucks because this girl's hair smells really bad.
Yikes! That's so real. That is so real. I did not think about that.
Yeah. And also, one other thing is that I get my height from my Abisha side. Do you? Yeah. So, your mom is Ethiopian. Yeah, and the height comes from her. Like my grandpa was like 6'2". Damn. Yeah. Damn. And is it just you or your siblings as well? Nah, everybody's big. Damn. I'm the skinniest one too. All them boys are yoked. I'm like, bro, y'all couldn't give me nothing. Yeah. Like, y'all selfish, First of all, you have the height. Relax. You give them so do they. So I'm just jealous of them. Like they just winning, you know. But you're also funny too and have the personality. So like, fair enough. God's fair is all I have to say. Shout out, big fella. Yeah, literally. So speaking about dating and stuff with your height, you talk about your height lends itself. I really do feel like a tall guy is like a girl with a rack or a nice body. You know what I mean? Yeah, right? Yeah. Like I saw a TikTok like a couple weeks ago. I sent it to my friends because I genuinely felt attacked, and it was like think of all the guys that you're talking to, all the guys that you've had talked to. If they were 5'9" or 5'8", would you still be talking to them? And I was like, that cleared my roster. I was like, what? No. The answer was just straight no. And that was a real. And I said, and they're like, yeah, Mila, like. So that clearly means that so funny. That takes in consideration. Because if they're a awesome person, which most of them are, I'm not going to lie, the height wouldn't really matter. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Now, I do have to say I'm 5'2", so like literally 5'10" is like a giant for me, so I'm good. But some of my friends who are like 5'1" as well, they're like, I need a 6'5" guy. I'm like, girl, what? Then what are our 5'10" girls gonna get? You know what I mean? Like, I was just thinking, wait your turn. Bro, the tall girls hate girls that do that, bro. Yeah, they hate girls that do, because the tall girls don't have options. Like they literally don't. They have no options, bro. They literally don't. Like NBA players are nothing, and then yeah. So you're talking about go ahead. I have a question for you. So this is something that I've done on like dating apps that I like. Oh, I'm so excited for you to finish the sentence. Go ahead. Yeah. So I, you know how most guys lie about their height. Like if it's like they add to. Yeah, like if a dude is 5'10", 5'11", he might say 6 foot, right? I do the opposite. Elaborate. So I'm 6'4", of course, but like I'll put on the dating app that I'm like 6'1", or like. So then they think you're 5'10". So they might think whatever they want, whatever. And if the conversation goes well, we end up meeting up in person, It's actually
like,
so how would you feel if a guy did that and you were like, damn, you're actually taller than I thought you
well,
know?
the number that you're saying is,
I mean, already tall, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going from short to, I'm going from tall to taller.
yeah.
So it's really not that crazy, but
it would be a pleasant surprise.
would it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
I didn't realize, because I actually would say I think the average guy that I was interested in was not, I really have not dated giants. I would say like 5'10" max.
Word, okay.
Like 5'9", 5'10".
But that's a tall guy.
Because for me, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if I'm looking at you at eye level or below, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you're 5'2", man. So like a guy that's 5'2", how are you gonna respect him?
And that's the real. And here's
Sorry
the thing:
to the short kings out there.
No, we love you, but hey, I'll be at your wedding. But no. But here's the thing: is that and here's the thing is, like, I'm sure God's gonna humble me and send me a short king, and I'll be madly, and like, that's how it usually works out. But
right.
I do think sometimes we don't have these real conversations, and guys can be very real about like their preferences, but then girls like, well, maybe it's like, no, it's okay to really be like, these are my preferences. Like, sorry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reason I want to show this is because I didn't realize how much I did appreciate a tall guy until I went on a date with a guy who's like 6'5". And he was like beefy as well, which I didn't really see in his profile. And then when I went on the date, I did not realize how much I enjoyed like feeling safe.
Yeah. You can just turn it off.
I could just turn my brain off.
I think that lends to why women like tall guys.
Just being
just a safety
protector.
thing.
It's literally that like biology, like makeup,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
And you
like,
guys love shutting your brain off because you guys are constantly thinking about a million different things when you could just like be standing next to the man and like you don't have to think about nothing. Like you ain't getting car doors, you don't care about the street, you just crossing willy-nilly.
He did the like sidewalk thing. And I was like, I didn't realize I appreciated that. It didn't work out, but I learned that about myself. I'm like, oh, I actually, I felt like I had a bodyguard with me at all times. And here's the thing is that the guys that I have been interested in who were shorter, much shorter, at the very least, I knew they had the mentality of, if anything were to go down, even if I get my butt whooped, I will try my best to, you know what I mean? And that's, you know what I mean? And that's how I just grew up with like my older brother and my dad. It's just, I just knew wherever we went, I'm good.
Right.
And it might not be the outcome that we want, but at the very least, they care enough about me that like my brother would die for me. My dad would die for me. You know what I mean?
You feel safe. That's the main thing.
That's all women want. It's just they want us to feel safe. That is literally it. And then men want to be respected, I think. Like, please.
I'll speak for myself, 100%. Like I gotta, I also like, I'm not one of those dudes that's like split the bill.
Okay, what
I know
are
that
you?
might be like controversial. I pay for it
Okay.
because like I don't know if that's like my male ego or whatever the case may be or how I was brought up, but for me it's like I don't really feel right that way. Like even if the girl has more money than me, I don't feel. Maybe that's ego, But it's on me. I'm paying.
Do you really quickly before we take a quick break? Because I want to throw on a little cliffhanger. Do you mind if she makes more money than you? Or would you prefer if she makes less?
Yeah, that's a good question. Would I prefer her to make less? I can't say that. But would I mind if my girl made more money than me? I think deep down I'd feel something, if I'm very honest about it. Yeah.
That's
deep
real.
down I'd feel something. I'd be like, I'm not doing enough. And it would make me work a lot harder. Yeah, I think deep down I would feel something for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and that's real, but I do think the dating culture right now and everything, like women are becoming more masc, men are becoming more femme. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do think this is going to be a hot take that it's just going against our genetic like makeup. Like men are the protectors, providers, all the things.
Yeah.
And I also agree that like I do not mind if he makes more. I want the guy in my life to be better in every single way. And when people hear that, they'll be like, wait, but we have to remember it's for a person who's like worthy of that. Do you know what I mean?
Straight up.
And that partnership, yeah. And I want you to make all the great ideas and I want you to lead us and all the things. But that goes back to like my faith and everything.
I feel like a woman has to be inspired by her man. Otherwise it won't work out.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah. If she's not inspired by you or she doesn't respect you in that way, bro, good luck, fam.
Not fam.
Nah, good luck, big dog.
It hits real when you say sister fam.
yeah. Like, yo, I'm sorry, bro. You're going to be going through it, man.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after these short messages.
Nice. These cameras do look crisp, yo.
Don't they?
Proper.
I'm going to keep this, but don't they?
Proper.
So Benny actually was here, if anyone knows, before I had the multiple camera shots. So you really...
OG.
Yeah, OG.
OG in the game, in the Firsties game.
So he was just talking about the cameras. Yeah, it's very beautiful. I love that shot with the greenery in the back. Anyways.
Fire.
So what are other things? Let's just really dive in. What are other things that... Whether you want to say icks or your pet peeves or things that are... Oh, let's go here. What are your non-negotiables when it comes to
non-negotiables?
dating? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which are different from icks, right? Like some, you know what I mean? People get that like mixed up. Because I before you answer, I think it's really refreshing to have that male perspective. I even like to learn from you guys. And I think you would be able to share with our audience, especially for first gens out there who right now are really prioritizing their education and not really thinking about like who they want to be in the world, the family that they want to have. If they want to have their family, don't have to. And I think insightful to hear like dating, because I don't think that's something that our parents are like prioritizing. And that's like who you end up with or who you choose to be with, I should say. Very important decision.
Biggest one you could make in life, honestly.
That part.
In my opinion. I think it's the biggest one you can make.
Yeah.
That, or maybe who you have kids with, rather, is the biggest. But who you choose to be with for sure is huge.
Right. Yeah. So any non-negotiables that you want to share with the class?
Also,
homie could be watching, so I'm just saying you could put your stuff out there. I said homie could be watching, so
who could be watching?
Homegirl.
Oh, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have. I've never put too much thought into what a non-negotiable would be for me.
Isn't that such like a female-centered question?
Yeah,
I think it
is. And you guys know. You guys know exactly, like, yeah, he can't do this, this, and this. Whereas, like, for us guys, it's like, I don't know. Is she feminine? Does she support what I do?
Okay, see, you even threw out a big one. See, you're such a not normal guy. So that's not the first thing people would say, which is an amazing answer. So how do you define feminine?
I need a girl that knows how to be soft. Because I'm out there doing like tough, hard shit.
So is that her tone with you? Is that how she presents herself? Is that
yeah? I think that
like, do you want a girly girl?
Yeah, 100%. I'd like a girly girl. Like, I don't know if I would. I've dated a girl before that played sports and all that, and that was cool. And I thought I wanted that, but excuse me. Turns out that was not the case. She was far too. We butted heads a little too much. You know what I mean? Like, nah, that wasn't it.
Got it.
That wasn't it. So yeah, I want a girl that's like real feminine. Like, that's really cool being in her feminine energy. That's fine because I'm a masculine dude. So like, if you're masculine too, we just gonna butt heads.
Right.
Like, I don't need that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And also, like, I feel like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to build something, and I need like somebody that's like willing to support in that way. And then in like, as a result, like, I'm down to give you the world. You know what I mean? Like, that's that. Bet. I have no problem doing that. So that's kind of how I think about it.
I would think that the same way a masculine woman could be unappealing, unattractive to you. Unattractive might be very harsh, but is the same way that a feminine man is unattracted to women. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, in the same way of like, let me be the feminine energy in that. Like, obviously you have a masculine and feminine energy, you as well, and so I as well. When I go to work, I'm more masculine because I have to be.
Right.
But yeah, when I come home, you think I want to be like masculine? No, I'm just a girl.
Right.
In this little world.
And I gotta say, like, I think that dynamic is cool too. Like, if you're going to work and you're the CEO, by all means, boss these motherfuckers around.
Because you have to.
Yeah. But then, like, I also think it's dope if you're coming back to me and you're now. That's actually pretty hot to me. That's dope. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, yeah, I'm all for that, as long as, like, in the crib, within the relationship, you're feminine.
Yeah.
I get it if on the outside you have to do what you have to do and all that. That's cool. These masculines, you want to be out there with them. But like with me, different story.
Yeah, that's true. I think some people might not be able to turn it off.
Yeah, that's
you know
that's
what I
the
mean?
issue there, right?
Yeah, and I grew up with we grew up in like Habesha homes that were very much like, my mom was a businesswoman, but then when she came home, she was definitely more feminine and also had
she was a wife.
And mom, and that was these gender roles that the mainstream media right now is not really messing with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's just interesting because we're going away and way more from like the nuclei of the family, which I find very interesting.
All right, that brings up a point, right?
Yeah.
Do you sometimes feel, this may be a little controversial in this sense, but I'll say I feel this way, that like, yeah, like there's a lot of like, these are buzzwords, but like liberal agenda and that kind of thing. But and I'm very like left leaning in that way, right? But there's some things that I just don't agree with. And there's some things on like conservative side or right wing side that I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Like for example, the nuclear family.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you ever find yourself like deliberating with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's
not to get too political.
No. It's like, is it political or more principle? Because there's just certain things that I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, where the reality is I grew up in a first world country when I came from a third world country. Yeah. And there's just certain things that are ingrained in me from the stories my family told me and everything. And we're always in state of transition. Like I came here, I was always the only brown person in the room sometimes. I was the only female in the room sometimes. So I'm just familiar with that like uncertainty. Yeah. But my perspective on how I decide to interact with the opposite sex and all that stuff and where I want my future to go comes from my faith. Yeah. And that's like there's no arguing that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that's just how I've always been. Yeah. Even though the world around me isn't necessarily that. I obviously have my community, my family, my friends it's that, but the general world, it's not. We're like not getting married at an alarming rate. We're not having kids at an alarming rate. And that's not the end goal for everything. I'm not, that's not what I'm saying at all. But yeah, and that part as well. So the dating culture has been very interesting.
I can imagine, man. I can imagine, dude. It's a wild thing. Also, does this bother you when people use the word female?
I don't know why, but it seems degrading and it's not.
Really?
I think so.
Does it seem degrading to you?
I think so, because I feel like that same guy who would say bitch or female or whatever, there is going to be a woman that he would never talk about that woman like. He wouldn't even be talking about her. Right. Because I'm learning the other day, my guy friend told me that like there's a difference between you and women. And I'm like, what? And he's like, when you guys really like a guy, you want to scream from the rooftops. When men genuinely like a girl and love her, they want to keep her to herself and they're not sharing all the spicy moments or whatever with their friends. Nah. Yeah, if they're just hooking up with a girl, whatever, and that's it. Right. They're like showboating or whatever. But when they really care, they're
that's a fact.
That's a fact. Is it?
Yeah, 100. What if? Why would I talk about anything with my girl? Nah. That's my girl. Nah.
I think I'm just so used to some of my friends who are just so like.
But girls are like that. Y'all got the group chats, bro. Like.
We do.
Everything is in there, dog.
We do. Honestly, so half the stuff I do on dates is for the plot. I'm just like, guys, it's horrendous.
For the
it's
plot,
horrible.
Yo, that is
it's or a podcast episode. Like I've said that before. Like it's horrendous. Right. Yeah.
But the reason I bring up that female point is because I have a friend that gets really mad at the word female. She's a comedian too. And then I thought it was really funny that maybe like a few days later, she described men as penis humans.
I'm gonna steal that. That's genius.
I was like, yo, penis human?
That's genius.
And you got mad at female? Like that's
imagine if I said like, because here's the thing is, what if I just said like, males? Like, what?
Yeah, that's what I am.
Like,
that's how I feel.
So you're saying you've used females before?
Have I used females before? Yeah, but like never in like a condescending way. It was just to describe somebody who was of the female gender. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, do you get mad at women?
I've never gotten mad. It's just in my head.
Or do you feel something about it? Essentially?
I've never commented on it. I just like let it go. But I'm just like, interesting. Yeah.
What would be ideal that wouldn't make you feel any of those feelings?
How
to be addressed with that's not your name, but
probably women.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing is, I think that the only times I've seen the context really, honestly, if I'm honest, the most times I've seen it is on like the Fresh and Fit podcast. Like those podcasts
them boys there are
like,
wild.
They're crazy. I will say they have some some points.
Some good points,
but their delivery and everything, I'm just like, whoa,
overdo it, man.
Your brakes. Yeah. But that's why they're going viral in like the industry that we're in. I've noticed that I've met two types of guys. I've met guys who are attracted to women, and I've met guys who like women. There's a difference.
Okay, interesting.
Attracted meaning, yeah, they want to be intimate with you.
Yeah.
But the way that they talk about women, the way they talk about their relationship with their mom, all those things, they actually don't like women. They just do all the things they need to do to just pray to God that woman allows them into their home, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Versus there's guys who genuinely like women.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not being simps or anything like that, but just genuinely like, and I've met the two, and I just find it very interesting. And the guy who just are attracted to them call them females. You know, like guys who are just like, oh, like, wife's making me go to brunch with the kids again. Like, what? And I'm like, huh? You know, when people die to be in that situation of having healthy kids in a family, and you're like, oh, I got to do this thing. You know what I mean? Point, right? Where others would never, like, kind of what you mentioned, like, if you're with someone and they're special to you, you're not saying anything crazy around anyone.
I think that has a lot. Yeah, I think that from my perspective, I do agree that there's people that like, or men that like women, people that are attracted to women. A lot of people, not just women, are just mad annoying. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
I'm gonna listen to that. Okay.
I feel like they just like I don't like too many people. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have said that.
But
before.
it'd be different if like the girl I was with, like I wouldn't call her female or like, but I do it in a joking way. Like I have a girl, I'd be like, grab me that woman, like as a joke.
Yeah,
you know. But you have to have enough sense of humor. But also, if it makes you feel that uncomfortable, then I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to invoke those feelings. It's more of like, maybe that's the comedian in me where I'm just like, everything's a joke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you share that you're a comedian? Like, do they already know that before they go on a date with you?
I prefer not to.
Why? Because it's like,
I just prefer like you not know that part of me just yet. And that could be like, maybe a pleasant surprise. Maybe you'll hate that, but I'd prefer, because like, for example, now I'm on Hinge, right? And every girl, like the last 15 matches have all been, hey, I saw you on stage. Hey, I saw you perform. I don't really dig that for some reason.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Is it giving like groupie energy?
Not that it's giving groupie energy, but like, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
I don't know why it makes me feel uncomfortable.
But lead into that. It makes you uncomfortable for a reason. Lead into that. There's a reason why.
Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to it. And like, I doubt that it's going to get any better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Benny.
So like, I have to get used to it in a way. But like, I'm also like, while I can avoid it, maybe I should, because I know eventually it'll get to a point where I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
And the only way they know you is from literally on, like, that's how.
Yeah. And then people will be like, oh, I feel like I know you. And I was like, you really don't. You know what I mean? You really don't. But like, I get it. I get how you can feel that way.
That's funny. That's
so
funny.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would see that. I would almost, I feel like maybe the reason why you would prefer they not know, because if they do know, then they have this preconceived notion of you, and then it's like, be funny, true. Like, why isn't he? You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's the one thing comedians hate. It's like, yeah, you're
tell
very,
me a joke. Shut your egghead ass up, bro.
Yeah,
nah.
Exactly that.
Yeah,
exactly that.
I did do this one time though. I did match with a girl, and I told her like, "Yo, we should go to this comedy show." And I had no pictures on Instagram. Blah, 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 boom, boom.
Benny?
And so we went to the comedy show, and then we're sitting there, and then I was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick." And then I got up, and then I walked straight onto the stage and performed.
And you did that also with your dad as well.
I did do that with my dad. That's where I got the original idea. And I was like, let me do this on a date and see how it goes.
And did you watch her and see her reaction stuff?
Yeah, a corner of my eye. I was watching her the whole time.
I think that's actually dope as fuck. I think that's a slight flex.
I thought it was pretty fire. One girl called me a psycho, not the girl, but like another comedian, woman comedian. Yeah. She was like, "You're crazy for that." And I was like, "I thought that was sick." All the male comedians in the room were like, "Dude, that's a nice play. Yeah, like, I'm taking that play." I thought it was dope.
How did it go? Okay, good.
Yeah, she enjoyed it. She was like, I did not expect that. Like, and I did really well, of course, on the show. So like,
because I forgot that you are gambling. Because if you bomb, it's just like, I mean, you bomb, it's fine. But I'm glad that it went well.
Yeah, it was good.
Because that's a slight flex. But
I knew I
wasn't
gonna bomb,
I'll be back in a second,
though.
and then boom, and then you just go do.
Yeah, exactly. Like she thought I was in the bathroom. She was like, she really loved the show. She was enjoying it, and then you see me.
That's a crazy.
I thought it was pretty dope.
No, that's really dope. That's really dope. Yeah, you got that idea from your dad. Yeah, you make that a thing all the freaking time.
And eventually, I won't be able to do that. Right? Like people will know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so get used to it.
I do shit like that all the time. Sometimes when I'm in a comedy club, I go to the bathroom and I be like, yo, you think these people are funny? They better be funny, bro. It's my first time here. And the dude be like, yeah, I hope they're funny. And then I get on stage.
No way.
I do that all the time.
Oh
all
my
the time.
God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and enjoy your
anonymity.
Anonymity. There you go. Before it, because that's a luxury. It really is. That's when you'll be able to like see. Yeah. I remember seeing the most recent like. Did you see the Rock Heart on Netflix?
Nah.
The special with Kevin Hart and documentary.
Oh yeah. I did watch that. Yeah.
Just how Chris Rock was like throwing a temper tantrum, kind of on. He just wanted to leave, and he's like in New York, you could kind of walk the streets without anyone really bothering you. And the Netflix people are like taking this huge ass camera. He's like, niggas like, you can't come with me. Like, I just want to walk home. Like, they're like, we need the footage. Like, he's like, I don't care. I want to go home.
I want to go home,
like,
bro.
Yeah.
That's real. Yeah. That's real, man.
I'm finding that comedians, obviously, I haven't met the big ones, but that seeing them on interviews and stuff like that, because they really don't do that many interviews and stuff like that. They're still just the regular guys from Philly or from Atlanta, from whatever. Like, that's the one genre that I'm noticing, that they're just dope individuals who usually don't let Hollywood like get to them, because I think the rooms where you're backstage with the other comedians won't allow you to like that.
And when you do, you start to suck.
What do you mean? Elaborate on that.
You can't relate.
Oh, you're not relatable.
Bro.
You're not relatable.
You become this like you know, a bigger than life thing, and like you can't do everyday things.
Yeah,
you can't find out what
that's
other people.
That's a good point.
You end up sucking.
Yeah, that's
so it's
true.
like it's very important to be like with the people if you're doing this thing.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx, he joked that he purposely doesn't get things fixed in his house so he could be relatable. So he has like a door doesn't work, or like the carpet is like ripped or whatever. Like
that's wild.
And he lives like in a multi-million.
Like, what's wrong with
you?
Yeah,
I'm like, do you have like all he throws these parties, and I'm like, you need to get like your everything together. Yeah. Okay, so
that's like Kim Kardashian renting out, Giant so she can go grocery shopping.
Or the DMV to take it's like
that's nuts, bro. What's good with you?
You're so rich, you want to be poor.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. That's
or like they rented out Stormy. They rented out a school bus for Stormy.
Yeah, so like come on, bro.
Or like a fire truck for like.
What are we doing here?
I know, like what is actually happening? That's
fake life.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so we were talking about dating. And do you appreciate like a funny girl?
Yeah.
Okay, but I want you to elaborate, because you say that, but then women might interpret that as jokes.
Yeah.
But I think what you mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, is sense of humor.
Bants. I love banter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
but you don't want her to be the funny. You don't want your comedian. That's not your vibe. You never know, but that's not.
I wouldn't date a comedian because I think that overlaps too much. Not because she can't be funny.
Yeah.
But because like I don't. Yeah, it would just make but what if it doesn't work out? Now it's just awkward when I'm trying to work. Gee, I can't do that, man. There's enough fishes in the sea.
Gotcha.
But I love a funny girl. Yes.
But sense of humor.
Sense of humor. Top 5.
Because you want her to laugh at your jokes.
That and like roast me back. Like let's get to it. You know what I mean? As long as you like, I don't want somebody that has like so sensitive that I can't say nothing.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna joke.
Right.
You know what I
mean? Right. Because I find it interesting that the female comedians always share how their dating can be difficult, because they are witty, they are very intelligent, they know how to roast back.
Yeah, they go through.
And so guys say that, and but they're like, no one wants to settle down with a funny girl, like a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're funny as hell. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I can see that.
Because I do think that being funny is definitely something that is awarded and allowed for men, but not really like
people
women.
Consider it a masculine trait, right?
For some reason, yeah. Which it's like so unfair, just because the funniest people I know are quite literally the most intelligent people I know.
Right.
It's understanding the human language and body, and just how people communicate, and how you could take a regular thing and make it into something funny. Not everybody can do that. So shout out to my female comedians out there. I think they're
shout out
hilarious.
For sure.
Yeah. Have you so you mentioned that you would not eat where you shit.
Shit where I eat, yeah.
You wouldn't.
It's not.
It's not for you.
I don't see it happening, bro.
Okay. So on that kind of discussion, what are other things that you would not be interested in, whether you want to call them icks, because I know we were going to talk about that and then we kind of changed the conversation. Because I think it's something that it's such a female-centered conversation. I think it's nice to hear some of the guys' icks, like the tippy toes.
You said tippy toes?
Yeah.
You definitely have to have nice toes. You definitely have to have nice toes. Like if you got them dogs, nah, yo, I can't do it, bro. That's wild, yo. You gotta have nice toes.
This is so great.
I'm a fan of girls that get their nails done, and I wasn't when I was younger, but I appreciated it. Like
it gives more of that feminine.
Just like you're manicured. Like I'm like proud to like that's my, you know what I mean? That's my girl, right? Like I love that.
They say that she's well kept, is what they like to say.
Yeah, that sounds like a like a
handmade
can of soup or something, but but yeah, I get what you're saying with that. What other icks? I don't know what other icks I would have. I don't like, okay, if a girl was like doing that, this is something that bothers me, the chewing the gum thing and they like pop the bubble.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Okay. I think it sounds like you want a girl who's very feminine and very much like a lady.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know why that can be so controversial nowadays. Don't know why.
I think that it's been like, it's like, it's hard to be a woman, bro. Like people are like giving you all these different ways of having to be a woman. Like you got to be this type of woman now, or you got to be this type of like different waves of feminism that have come around.
I'm clinging onto my faith for dear life.
Yeah. And also situational feminism is crazy.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
Like those girls that are like super feminist. I hate men. Men are terrible. And then their tire pops and they're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I kind of need one of you guys to. I kind of don't want to do this.
I saw a tweet that was like, hate men, but when your tire pops, you're like, hey, king.
Yeah. That's situational feminism, bro. I always think
or like,
funny.
yeah, feminist, and it's like, well, I'm not going on a date with him again because he made me go Dutch, or he didn't pay for the full meal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I always say, like, I only know my experience of being a heterosexual female, so I can't really compare it.
Yeah.
And both seem tough. Like, we all have our expectations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're the ones who bear children. We're the ones who have to decide if we could continue with our career versus growing our family. Like, that's a big thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus you going out in the world and having to protect and provide. That's tough because the world is cruel to men. Yeah. Let's not even talk about black men, just cruel to men.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
And that's the reality of it.
I also think I need more lesbian friends.
Okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
Just for that, like, perspective?
We just have so much in common.
To like really go into it.
You know what I'm saying, dog? Like we could go out Mac. Like let's go have. You know what I mean? Like, I need more lesbian friends. If there are any lesbian friends watching this, dog, you got a homie right here. You know?
Right? Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, but you don't enjoy going out with your boys and being a male.
Yeah, but like, the males have egos, and like sometimes that comes out when women are around. You know what I mean? Like that's a real thing. Like,
oh my God.
Everybody has that one boy that like
it.
switches up crazy when the girls are around. Like broski, take it easy, man.
And I just want to say for those men out there, we can tell. Girls can tell, and we're like,
now you're the funniest dude in the room. Like as soon as she walked in, what happened, bro?
Literally,
you were mad quiet 2 minutes ago, but now you're this. Now you're doing a push-up contest in the back. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
It's like I've been on a date with a guy and it's one of those things where it's no one's fault, but the food wasn't coming out as fast as he would like. And it was coming out slower than like usual, but okay, that just means more time for us to get to know each other and like talk.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Because really getting like dinner on the first date is not the best thing to do because you're eating it. It's like actually eating from someone is like an intimate thing.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
like it is. Like coffee,
I think more girls feel that than guys though, but I think that's real.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be stuffing your face trying to meet somebody.
Just because, exactly, yeah. And he like, I think he was trying to be like macho because 5 minutes before that we were having a great time, but then the way he treated the staff really turned me off. I was like, so I was like, it wasn't that he's an asshole or anything like that. It's just in his journey right now with his emotional intelligence, everything, it's just not going to be, again, I want you to be better at everything than me.
Or he's just a dickhead.
That true as well.
You know what I mean?
That could be a possibility as well. Fun fact. Shocker.
If you're being an asshole to the waiter, you're not gonna be nice to people that are under you because that's what's happening. You're considering that person to be under him.
On another date, the girl spilled the entire drinks not near our table and profusely apologizing. And we're like, oh my God, it's fine. And the way he handled it was just like cracking jokes and saying like, did you have a few behind the kitchen? Like just making fun of her. And she's like, oh, like, and it was nice.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, that made like, you know, obviously she didn't want to do that.
That's
you know
a
what I mean?
kind-hearted human.
Yes. It's being kind, which I feel like a lot of people think girls just say that, but I'm like, no, because I feel like they think like nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't, but those are the ones that we marry.
Yeah.
We're all going through our, go ahead, please.
No, I think that nice guys do finish last. Okay. Sure. If you're too nice, the girl can feel like she's going to walk all over you, especially if she's like a very.
But what does too nice mean? Because I do think the guys that get walked over is when they're so nice, but the energy's not being reciprocated, and they're continuing to be so nice.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and that's what I think a simp is.
If she's reciprocating, then 100%. Then like you're
match
another
the
kind
energy.
for sure.
Yeah.
But like if she's like not putting it out there, and you're just like, hey, 15 times, or like I really want to see you, I really want to take you out, bro. That turns a girl off more than anything you could do, in my opinion. And I'm sure you could attest to that. Like.
The other day a guy double texted me and I was like, this is my 13th reason. I gotta go. No, I'm joking.
Just the double text?
It was the 6th text back to back.
Okay, yeah, that's too much. Yeah,
but I will say, you know, there's people who either put all their information, all of what they want to say in one text, or they do like the boom, boom, boom. So it was actually fine. Okay, but I definitely was like, oh, that's interesting. It's a bit much. I was like, oh, that's a little interesting. Yeah. Especially when you're still like getting to know each other. Any other? I'm trying to think of. I'm not sure if I have any other icks I haven't shared. Have you heard that, like, the whole hammock thing? Have you heard about that?
No.
Like, no one who can get out of a hammock, like, gracefully or, like, masculine, like, that's crazy. Like, I would love to see you in a hammock because your height.
I do well in hammocks.
Of course you say that.
Yeah, I do well in hammocks, dog.
Like, I kill at hammocks.
Great relationship.
I actually invented hammocks. Yeah. Like, okay.
I do love hammocks though, and
who doesn't? Who doesn't? But turn away when they're.
But that's hilarious. So like the way somebody gets out of the hammock is an ick or not?
It just seems like a turtle on its back. Like it's just
you goofy. Like that's what they're saying. You can't be goofy.
And I stole that from my best friend Catherine. She's like, yeah, a guy in a hammock, it's a wrap.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that so? And I was like, I never thought about that. But now I think about that. Yeah, probably he just can't get out of the hammock.
But now what if he does it gracefully? Are you just like, whoa?
I haven't seen it, but probably be that would probably be a green flag. I'll probably marry him. Like, wow, he got out of there very gracefully.
Have you seen the list of like the things guys can't do anymore, like on TikTok?
I went over previously with Musa. He said one was the ping pong ball thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like being on all fours trying to get the ping pong ball is like wild to me.
That is reckless. I'm not gonna lie, that's wild.
Like you can just bend over and get it.
Crazy, bro.
And chasing after it is like the craziest part to me.
You gotta
just
walk,
wait
bro.
for it to and then or just say, hey, player, can you get me that? Or ask a girl, hey, do you mind getting that? I'll easily grab. I don't know. You know what I mean? And again, it's very like hot topic, but I think when it leans, I want a guy to have some feminine energy because he has to be soft towards me.
Right.
Like you can't just be masculine towards me, like be soft towards me. But when it goes over and be too feminine, which is a controversial thing to say, but that's just how my preference. That's not that controversial,
bro. In my opinion, at least.
That's why I'm like, it's a little bit of an ick.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone in feeling that way. I do think that
I just think I'm saying it in documents.
No, but that opinion is like getting suppressed. I think there are a lot of women out there that want exactly that. They want like a masculine man that's a certain way, but like their opinion is not like correct in the view of maybe some of their friends or whatnot, and then so they just keep that down low. They just don't talk about it.
That's a great perspective on exactly what's happening. Yeah, you're right. How do you define a high value woman?
How do I define a high value woman? One of the biggest values, at least for me, is like, how are you around kids?
So you want her to be nurturing?
Yeah, you have to be nurturing. You have to be intelligent, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, I don't know, man. I think that it's different for men and women, bro. There's so many things. Like us, we could like that one Chris Rock joke he was talking about. Like a girl could be working at McDonald's, dog, and she could get
that part.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, finish it for the audience.
But let Jay-Z be working at McDonald's. You think Beyonce would ever look at him? Never. Never in life. That's just a fact of it, you know? If you wanted to be on a boat this summer.
We're going to go there, Benny.
Maybe I won't use you, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Just because you're really speaking fact, but go ahead.
Yeah, like if you could do it.
I can't argue this.
You could. But if I wanted to be on the boat, nigga, I better have enough money to buy a boat or rent a boat. Right. Like I look like one of them either mooching ass dudes, or I have to be able to get the boat myself. Nobody's just going to invite me on the boat. If you lived in Miami, it would take you max 1 week to find somebody with a boat and be able to get on their boat and party and do everything for free. Max 1 week. You just have to look in the right places. You know how long it would take me to get on a goddamn boat?
No, that's so you're speaking it. You're speaking it, which reminds me, on a previous episode, one of the guests said one of his like red flags on a girl is if she had multiple cities in her highlights on IG.
Sorry, excuse me, that's crazy.
Would you agree? Like she's Dubai, all these things, because he was like, who's funding that? Flag, it's like going on the yacht if you're going on a million yachts. Red flag. Really?
I never even thought about it until now because I've never dealt with girls that have done much of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, why are you in Dubai?
Okay, but what if she explained that like she comes from a wealthy family or she did it on her own? Is that still like, okay, does context
Where are the family pictures? Show me the family dinner you went on. Where the siblings at? Like, shit. I need all of, like, what are we talking about?
I try to help you guys out, girls.
Yeah, what are we talking about, bro? Like, there's no way you're in Turks and Caicos for shits and gigs with your family. You're not taking any pictures with your family.
That part.
Like, all of them are solo on the beach? Every picture you take is solo on the beach?
That part.
Who'd you go to the beach with?
It's usually with the girls, but it's usually they're getting
If it's an all girls trip, that's a red flag. Like, realistically, unless you know what that girl does and she's making good money, you're like, wait a minute.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that context is okay. What if her and her friends are all ballers?
Yeah,
I've seen it on TikTok. Not my friends. But I've seen like finally the trip came out of the group chat where one is a NP, one is a lawyer, one is whatever, and they went on these very nice trip because they can allow. You know what I mean? It's just the four of them.
That's fire.
But is it
that's dope.
The period at the end, you're like, that's fire.
Yeah,
next
fire,
question, Mila.
What happened on the trip? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the questions I'm gonna ask.
Okay, I'm learning. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, what else? That's so funny. So that's okay. So a lot of men can relate to that because that's like the second or third time I've heard like that's a red flag, Mila. That's
yeah. Another red flag is link in the bio. You know that link? If I see a link in the bio.
Oh, they said the thing of it says link in the bio. Oh, like a link tree or.
Yeah, dog. It's crazy. Like sometimes I'll just be like on Instagram and I'll see a beautiful girl. Oh my God, this is amazing. And I just be like, please, Lord Jesus Christ, no link tree. Because I know what's in the link tree.
What is?
Yeah, dog.
Okay. Every single time, guys, we talk for so much that literally cameras are dying, which is fun. So really quickly before we wrap up, do you think that we're talking about like our icks and datings and stuff. Yeah. We kind of talk about a lot of things, which is great. I always thought like, oh, where am I thinking about all these things? And it's because of either my upbringing or my faith.
Word.
Right? Like just being a first gen and talking about like firsties and stuff. Where does that stem for you? I feel like it's probably like-minded in that way because I saw my parents' marriage and our family and how the nuclear of the family is.
Yeah.
And I desire that one day because I had an awesome childhood. But what was your experience? Like, where does that stem from for you?
Where am I?
Your desires of where you want to see your life, your career, your purpose, everything.
Not just in a partner, but as a whole.
Yeah, because the partner includes that as well. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it stems off from my upbringing, man. Like, how hard my dad worked and how hard my mom worked at raising us was, like, very valuable to me as a kid. I was like, oh, okay. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I really started appreciating what was actually happening, you know?
That part, yeah.
Yeah, it's so real. Yeah. And I think that, and also my faith as well, like that's also real. Like I'd need a God-fearing woman. Like I talked to an atheist one time. That was the craziest experience I've ever had. I was like, wait, what? So you don't believe in nothing? Nothing at all. It was crazy to me. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more things on earth that help you believe that God is real than the other way around. But anyway, yeah, I think it comes a lot from my upbringing. And like, I think about my future kids a lot, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, what do I want? I can't be there all the time for my kids. Mm-hmm. So when I'm not there, who's the one that's instilling values in them?
Okay, gotcha.
That would be my wife and partner, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the woman that I've now chosen to have kids with, she's the one that's going to be doing that. So her values and my values have to be so aligned that we're teaching our kids the right way. Because you can also confuse a child too. One parent saying one thing and the other parent saying another thing.
For sure.
That can cause a whole host of problems.
Very stressful, yeah. And they look to the world for them to raise them.
And that's a mixy place to look, bro, because the world is crazy.
Yeah.
The world is, or the internet.
Yeah.
God forbid my children are raised by the internet,
no,
bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I don't even know how we gonna avoid it, but try our best.
No, tangled. They're gonna be up in a tower somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally. Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah. Now I kind of understand why my parents were at the time I gave them a tough time, but like couldn't do sleepovers, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. They're just like, girl, you don't know. It's our protection, and trust me.
Yeah, like I don't know what those parents are teaching their kids.
Yeah, because in that same like protection comes with like, I don't have any kids with my nieces and nephews, or like the discussion on when she can straighten her hair, when she get her nail polish. It's like it's an automatic like not until this age or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, I'm my parents.
I have turned into them. Bro.
I ate my words.
It's wild. I ate my words. It's crazy. It happens slowly but surely.
It is, yeah. And it's that love that I understand, because it's only because I love my niece and nephew. So I'm like, hey, you have beautiful curly hair. Why do you want to straighten your hair? It's because your best friend Abigail has straightened hair, and you're the only, let's talk about it.
Right.
Now they have more information, because when I was that age, my parents did let me do it, but they just didn't have enough information to tell me, like, hey, it's okay for you. Yeah, exactly.
And then you build resentment.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then take that into school, because you are a firstie and you're trying to figure out. Yeah. Like it's a whole thing.
Yeah. That's real.
And my braids just weren't cutting it. They should have, but they just weren't cutting
but they just were not.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So before we go, what do you want to plug on? You have some shows coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I know you're really excited about. He has a million shows coming up. I'm going to link everything below. But
April's going to be dope. April's going to be Benny and Friends at the DC Comedy Loft. That's going to be a really fun show. Then May 18th, I'm going to be in Toronto, which I'm really excited about.
No way.
Yeah.
First time?
It's first time in Toronto, yeah. First time doing a show in Toronto.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that. And then I also started something with my boy E.T. You know E.T.?
Yeah.
We started something called Diaspora Comedy. And that's like for us. You know what I mean? It's for people. It's like the goal of the show is to spread, culture through laughter. Mm-hmm. Not only expose like our audiences to these different comedians, but also like the different comedians' cultures to the audience. So like last show we had a girl from South Korea, and we had somebody from America, of course. Then we had Somalian person. We had an Ethiopian comedian.
Yeah.
I was on there. So that's something that's really fun.
Yeah, that's dope.
The first show sold out so quickly. It was ridiculous.
I saw him so close, yeah.
And so the next ones are coming. The next one's going to be April 30th.
Okay.
We'll go with the next one. April 30th is going to be fire.
That's a dope idea.
Yeah.
That's
and
really
it's going to grow
idea.
For sure.
Yeah. And you sold out your first show. That's so exciting.
So I'm super hyped for that.
Yeah.
So come check me out. Come see it live,
That's so exciting. I'm also going to link all of his socials below as well, guys. As always, please make sure you show love, like, comment, do all the things. There is one that is going viral right now, and he just pinned it, I think. His friend called him on stage, and he handled it very, very well and funny. So go check that out.
Punchline.
That was amazing. He's like, right now. It was so funny. It was so good. As always, guys, make sure you follow Firsties Pod everywhere. That's Firsties POD. And we'll see you in our next episode. Take care, guys.
Much love.